Hi, Steve Stevenson here. I'm the president of Crapcode Gaming. We here at Crapcode Gaming are proud to introduce our new streaming service, made by gamers for gamers. Based on input from a board of directors whose average age is only slightly greater than that of the United States Senate at 63 years old collectively. With this collective brainchild, we proudly announce your next home for streaming games, podcasts, and people bathing in cereal while they eat it. StreamingCRAP.com is your one-stop stop for all you could ever want. And we're spending over $100 million to bring all your favorite streamers to our platform. Every streamer gets an automatic $100 signing bonus as well, even if we have no idea who you are. Sounds crazy, right? That's because it is. We have absolutely no way of paying for this, and just in the minutes since I've started talking, I have a brand new announcement to make here just for you. It is with a heavy and solemn heart and a much lighter bank account missing many zeros that I'm here to announce that StreamingCRAP.com is officially shuttering as of today, before it even launched. We're proud of all our accomplishments that we had set out to do with our service, and we do hope you enjoyed the idea of hoping to enjoy it. I'm Steve Stevenson. Good day to you.
Welcome to the Crashed While Loading podcast.
Does internet porn know you're cheating on it?
Video games,
Well, excuse me, princess.
movies and TV,
Don't worry, Professor. I was an accident, too.
half-assed reviews,
Just as I suspected. Hollow!
and everything else.
Chief, mate, what do you want to do tonight?
Off. We need to go on a quick adventure. Hello, people of Earth. Welcome to Crash While Loading. This is our 6th episode, and I am so glad you joined us today on this, the day of independence. The day that we stood up as one voice and said something from Independence Day, which I'm not going to get into because that speech is really long, even though it's really well done, and the music score was done by, ironically, a British guy. So, I'm your host, Ashton Phoenix, and with me today is everybody because they don't like barbecue or freedom. Jazz.
Hello.
Sib.
Hello.
Strafe.
Happy 4th, folks.
The Bananator.
404 been not found.
Oh, never mind. And Yunfei.
Hello, it's also Bob Ross Day, so
It is also Bob Ross Day. Is it really Bob Ross Day?
Celebrate happy trees and stuff.
Happy trees ain't got nothing on freedom, darling.
Yeah! You can't paint happy trees without freedom. Wait.
Well, I guess you could.
I mean, no, it's impossible. It's actually in the Bible that you are not allowed to. If you do not have freedom, like people in China cannot paint trees. They try, and it doesn't work.
Wouldn't they just be communist trees at that point, right?
Well, they are all red, yes.
There it is.
And suddenly our show was banned from China, just like that. Just kidding. There's no way anybody in China is listening.
Mention Winnie the Pooh, and then we're banned in China.
Oh yeah. And,
well, now we're banned in China.
Now, yeah.
Now we weren't before, but now we are.
Now we are officially.
Way to go.
Yeah, I mean, Thailand, right? Tiananmen Square.
They're just trying to now.
Free Hong Kong. That's the good one. That's the one right now that is really will really get you in a lot of trouble. I mean, only if you're in China or the news media. So we got a pretty good show for you today. Apparently, excuse me while I choke on my own spittle. Apparently, since our last show, more so than usual, the internet went to complete shit.
Oh yes,
yeah, just a little bit, and not just like in one place, like everywhere.
Things went crazy all over the place.
All over, and it was generally in streaming, which, as you might imagine, we're kind of keeping an eye on somewhat, given that we do the show live, which you can tell, of course, by the high and amazing quality of the product that we produce for you, free of charge, by the way. Unlike those other podcasts, we don't have a Patreon because there's not enough people out there that would donate to it. So there's really no
pure
point.
Passion, baby.
Yeah, there's just no point in wasting our time or yours.
He's
But if you want to get
caged, please send help.
There is no cage. There is only Zool.
Hey, I learned from my good friend Winnie the Pooh exactly how to treat your people.
Oh no!
I'm not. Let's
remember. There is no cage in Boss Sing Say.
That's right. I've actually been watching that again.
We
finished it. It's good.
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, that last episode, I had mentioned that it didn't look quite right. Like there were like scan lines and stuff. That was only the first episode. After that, it was completely fine. I don't know if it was just a quality issue with that way they put that first one up or what.
Yeah, if you go as of I'm going to get the date wrong. I want to say as of like the first.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back and watch that first episode again, it's all in HD now.
Oh, okay. That must have been what it was. Yeah, because I've been watching it for a couple weeks, at least since the last episode. But that first one was, oof, man. It's a great show, but I noticed like the third episode. I was like, hey, all the stuff I complained about is all gone. Well, now I look like an idiot. I mean,
they released the HD version of everything like a couple of weeks ago or last week or something.
Yeah, that makes kind of a huge difference when... I mean, I don't know how many people are out there streaming onto their standard definition boob tube televisions outside of their grandma's house. Although from the videos I've seen, a lot of people, even grandmas have those big giant floor boxes, and then on top of that is an HD TV. So.
I was just going to say that, except with my grandmother and grandfather and Ben, when you went to visit, I don't know if you noticed, they have one of those big on-the-floor TVs.
The radio.
She's had that thing since like the 60s.
The radiation.
Right about those TVs,
yeah.
You can still play your NES on some of those.
It has knobs.
And not just knobs.
Oh, wow.
It's ones that you actually have to build up arm strength in order to change the channel. Yeah.
It's like, can you change it to channel 4?
Click, click, click.
Like, the actual remote actually was a clicker because it made a clicking sound when you changed the channel. Yeah,
and it was attached with a cord.
Sometimes, yes.
That's the first one I remember when we moved here in Oklahoma in '89. It had a long, like 15-foot wire, and it was this big, beautiful brown box with little buttons on it that would go like that. Yep. So, well,
now they're off in the weeds.
Yeah, way off in the weeds, but that's all right. This whole show is nothing but weeds. Wait a minute. So, kind of big news. We'll just dive into everything here. The big one that kind of came out of left field, but was also like, oh, yeah, that makes sense, is the Microsoft announcement that Mixer is closing. We've lost it. Everybody, a moment of silence. All right, that's enough.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't think either Yunfei or I ever watched Mixer.
Yeah, no, I never watched it.
I don't even know what it is. So
it's Microsoft's Twitch.
Yeah, it's not Twitch.
Yeah, no, it's what Microsoft wanted to be Twitch. And I found this nice graph. Anybody else love pie graphs? Not just because it reminds you of, obviously, pie, but because they're always so colorful. So I found one of hours watched in Q2 of 2020.
Uh-oh.
Now, Mixer was right on the cusp of greatness, I believe, according to this pie chart. So 67% of hours watched were done on Twitch at just a little over 5 billion hours. Billion with a B, not... Yeah, and that's in one quarter. Second place at 20% was YouTube Gaming Live at... they do this so weird. 1.5 billion. There we go. because they do it like 1,502.9, and then they put an M at the end of it. Just put billion, just 1.5 billion. That's not that hard. Facebook, which I forget is... I know, Facebook Gaming.
Yeah, Facebook Gaming.
Mm-hmm. Which is where Mixer is actually... Microsoft is partnered with Facebook Gaming. So all those billions of people on Facebook, on Mixer can now go to Facebook Gaming. They have an 11% share at 822 million hours viewed. And coming in fourth place, near and dear to your heart, Mixer at a whopping 1.4% at 106 million hours viewed. Remember, Twitch was 5 billion. That might give you a reason as to why Mixer is now shuttering and going to Facebook, which is funny because they're going to the third biggest loser in that. So it's not really a shock, but I think the biggest thing here is for those of you that may not remember or don't follow streaming. I mean, I don't actually watch most people stream their games. I just play them myself.
Myself?
Yeah.
But we're old dudes now, bro.
Right. Well, and like Yunfei, you were saying you're gonna watch someone streaming like The Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2, just because you don't have a PlayStation. And I would totally be behind you doing that because that game is amazing, just the storytelling and all that stuff.
Yeah, I did the same thing with Final Fantasy and pretty much all of the David Cage games.
Yeah.
Mostly because even if I could, I don't have the patience to get through those.
Yeah, and that's cool. Yeah, a lot of people just watch other people play, not because they don't have it, because I don't know why. But they paid Ninja $30 million to go to Mixer from Twitch.
Well, sometimes the streamer themselves are really charismatic, and just their commentary just brings a lot to the game. Like Ben and I, not so much anymore because things are changing, but we used to watch Northern Lion and their whole crew, and we loved it because of just the charisma and the interactions that they had with each other. It was really fun.
And that's one of the reasons people listened to what we do. I mean, because let's be honest, the content's just terrible. I mean, obviously.
Can I just say, Ninja can sing?
That's true. He was
on The Masked Singer. Me and our son watched that, and it's fun. It's something we do together. And he was actually one of the people on there, and I was like, I didn't know who he was, but my son knew, and we were kind of shocked. I was like, okay. Yeah.
So you were watching a millionaire sing on that show.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, they paid this kid $30 million to go over there, and another $10 million to Shroud. So there's $40 million to two people to go from one platform to theirs, which again, 1.4%. How did they ever think they were going to recoup that? I mean, I understand this is Amazon money or not Amazon, Microsoft money, because Amazon owns Twitch, and Microsoft's not small. But $40 million for two people, and I don't think they didn't even make it a year since that deal went down. It's not even been a year.
The sad part is they probably recouped it.
They might have done some of with ads, but at the same time, not nearly. It didn't pull in what they thought it would. Not near, obviously, because they're shuttering the whole thing down.
Right.
You almost have to. Was it a last ditch effort that they were like, shoot, this isn't going as well as we thought it would.
When they pulled Ninja, I can't remember who the second person was.
Shroud, a guy named Shroud.
Yeah. I think when they pulled them over to Mixer, I think they expected a huge exodus from YouTube to Mixer because they had two really huge streamers.
Right.
And that just didn't happen. Everybody stayed on Twitch.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Twitch I've looked at Mixer briefly. I mean, and by that I mean, like, I gave it a solid 10 minutes of clicking on different things there, and it's like, it's all right. You know, it's nothing that Twitch and doesn't already do, really. And they've got it's kind of like when people try to start a new Facebook or things like that, which Jazz has been trying a new one too. It never works out. I know there's been several people that have tried, what was it? Google tried theirs, and that was a flop and a half. But once you get to a certain point of, you become the gold standard, you've got to really come at it. Like, I'm sure there's probably knockoffs of Discord that are out there right now. I haven't heard of any of them or paid attention.
One of the things they teach you in business school, and apparently none of these people went to business school, or they know this, when something becomes, like you said, like Kleenex or Twitch, or once
Band-Aid.
they've made that statement and people recognize them almost like a term in the dictionary, there is zero profit to be had from mimicking them. And at that point, the only way you're going to get over or past that is if you come up with something completely different to draw a different group of people in, or a different reason to draw people in. And I don't understand, and I never have understood this. This seems fairly logical to me. Why keep mimicking something that is successful instead of just trying to come up with something on your own that's successful?
Product,
it works.
In games, it doesn't work. In business, it doesn't work. People have said this for generations, and they continue to try to do it.
Well,
it
works.
A really good example. Sorry.
Oh no, you're right. I was just going to say it works in games briefly. Like, PUBG became a thing, and then Fortnite improved on that, and Apex Legends did really well too. And since those three, all the others have basically come and gone in just abject failure. So if you do it right out of the gate and you actually can, like PUBG was good, but it was buggy as hell. And then Fortnite came out and it ran smooth, it did good. So if there's this tiny little window.
They were probably already in production.
Actually, I know with Fortnite, it actually was a completely different game. They saw the success of PUBG and turned it into a battle royale. It actually went. It was going to be.
Well, they definitely did a better job.
Right,
so.
right, and they improved. They built a better mousetrap, and also
that's not mimicry.
Right,
I mean,
and they also got that young audience.
If you can't come up with something else to it, all you're doing is creating a lesser version, a knockoff.
MMOs, for example. Not just pulling that one out of my head, out of nowhere. Not that we would know anything about.
It works, though.
Does it? I mean,
briefly.
When was the last good MMO?
It doesn't, and statistics stand that up. It's very obvious it doesn't work, but they won't stop because they just want the flash in the pan profit. Upstart.
I mean, and there's a few of them. What was it? Scribbles that keeps he posts on God, and of course now that I'm talking about it, the MMO he's working on. Where is it at?
Oh yeah, he posted in our in the channel.
Yeah, Defend the Night. Like, they are actually trying different stuff. Whether and I hope it comes out and I hope it works out for them because it is a small team, but they are at least trying a lot of new things and they're using a lot of feedback, like personal feedback from people that are interested in MMOs and things like that. They've got a whole Discord channel and all that stuff that they actually ask people questions and like, okay, what do you guys think of this, and this? It'll be an interesting way to see how it works out, and I hope that it does. But at least they're trying something new. The problem is, they're still trying to get their name out there and get in articles and things that
Well, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything mimics something.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you put your own twist on it and make it yours, it's got to. But so many games and so many businesses and stuff, they just basically slap a different name on it.
Yeah.
And they don't actually make anything themselves. That was what was EverQuest Next. It was basically just Minecraft with fancier graphics.
Yeah.
So it was. Down to the nitty gritty. It was exactly the same.
But not so fancy because we want to draw that WoW crowd in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's that too.
Which, for the record, I hate that art style. I can't believe that game's still going. All right, I'm done. Go ahead.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it does run on a toaster now, so, I mean,
it's great for an RTS, right? I love it for that, but,
yeah.
I just don't want to, I don't know.
No,
it's not my bag.
I've never understood their draw either, but it's simple, direct, and to the point. And for many people, they don't want to think, they just want to get in there and do stuff and get the ding, 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 and they're,
Well, the mechanics
and it gives them that.
And WoW are good, too. It's just the art style is not for everyone, but they've got a shit ton of content, and it's actually good. And unlike, ESO, for example, I mean, it's the same. It's basically the same combat system it was when it released. At least in World of Warcraft, for good or bad, if they do everything well, they do kind of revamp their system in new and interesting ways that kind of keeps people coming back. I know my brother-in-law, he plays World of Warcraft all the time. Ericus is another one too, and he might stop for a while, and then an expansion comes out, and it'll draw him back in because it's changed up enough of the actual game mechanics to keep him interested.
Sounds like something our Canadian Argonian would know about. And I'm sure he's listening. He can send me hate mail later.
Well, I mean, he's going to send that to you regardless.
Well, yeah, he does anyway. So
yeah. That. Although I will say he went a little too far, sending you that severed moose head covered in maple syrup. A little bit much.
I could save the maple syrup because that stuff is gold.
Right. I was just gonna say that.
Well, that and you are Texan. You did just grill up the head and eat it as it was.
Yeah, I mean, you don't let it go to waste,
right? Yeah. But so getting back to Mixer here, what we were talking about with like the bump. There was a paragraph in here. Mixer is growing in popularity, but it's still far from competing in the field with Twitch. New data released from Stream Elements in partnership with Stream Analytics, Arsenal.gg, found that hours watched on Mixer jumped about 3 million in August, just after Blevins, who is Shroud, joined the platform. In that same time period, Twitch jumped from 850 million to 932 million. So Mixer got a 3 million viewer jump. They, just in that same time, were at 82 million. I mean, there was no significant bump. I mean, 3 million people going to a streaming service it seems like that could have just happened just because they're like, oh, look, a streaming service, and I have an Xbox. I'm going to watch this now. So, but the other big thing, too, on this is, man, I kind of feel bad for people that jumped on board on Mixer, like actually followed Shroud and Ninja and were like, oh, well, this is clearly the platform of the future, because July 22nd, they're going to have to start all over somewhere.
Yep.
And I know they're jumping over to Facebook Gaming, which, by the way, so, sorry, I can't say that without Facebook Gaming.
No, that's the proper response. You're correct.
Oh, whew, sorry, I'm not going to do that again. My mouth's watering. Man, that's it. They're gonna have to all these. Like, it would be like us. You'd have to completely rebuild your audience from the ground up.
Yeah, that's gonna.
I don't know that would be too tough for us.
For us, it'd be like, hey, Mom, follow this link, and it'd be like, oh, okay, we're back to where we were. I'm talking about people that have like dozens of followers.
I don't want to segue too early to another topic, but it's kind of...
Which, by the way, twitch.tv/crashed while loading. Follow and subscribe. But go ahead, bud. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it might be too early to jump on this topic, but a lot of these folks that recently got banned off YouTube are having to do that and have to go to other platforms to try to rebuild years of content.
Yeah.
So, that's happening too.
Yeah, it's just kind of... It's the cancel. There's the cancel culture thing as part of this, and I'm not a fan of it. Some things, yeah. I mean, if you're on there, like, who's great? Hitler. Boy, did he have some great ideas. How about that Autobahn, huh? Oh yeah, and injecting Jews with horrible poisons and advancing science. That wasn't so bad. See, if you're like that, I don't know. I can kind of get that. Probably not a good idea. But if you're like, there's stuff that we've done on here. For example. A joke about Hitler that happened about 15 seconds ago. Probably, taken out of context, get you banned. Right?
Yes, this quote out of context brought to you by twitch.tv/crash while loading.
Exactly. Someone's going to clip this. Hey, look what this guy said. Hitler's not so bad. He's great. He's not. He's horrible. And his mustache ruined Charlie Chaplin's mustache. An act of which I will never forgive. Also, the genocide. But the mustache, I mean, if we're going to focus on what's important here, poor Charlie Chaplin. Although he was brave, he actually made fun of Hitler, so good guy. Good guy, Charlie Chaplin.
It's pretty dirty when you were actually being labeled by saying that stuff when you don't, just because you have the wrong ideas the company holds, and suddenly you're gone. So there's that as well. It goes to that cancellation culture.
Well, when they go after people like Dave Chappelle, I mean, come on. Or the one that one comedian I'm surprised that hasn't been completely just raked over the coals is Daniel Tosh, because he does a lot of racial jokes and things like that, and they're jokes. They're clearly jokes. But he's what was one of them? He's like, one time I liked someone on ESPN just to say what everyone's thinking when they're watching a football game. Damn it, black people are fast. Man, look at them go. Right?
Yeah. And welcome to being canceled.
Exactly. Racial joke. Funny. And also, athletes tend to be fast, so that's probably why that happens. But there's a whole cancel culture thing. It seems like it has a big deal to do with a lot of this. But at the same time, there's also some people like what we'll get to here after we get to the other guy that was... actually, we don't even know what. Dr. Disrespect. There was also an ESO doxing because somebody got their feelings hurt because they were kind of a sexist douche, and people called him out for being a sexist douche, so he doxed a whole bunch of people. But before we get to that, let's hit Dr. Disrespect, a guy who I find interesting, to say the least. I don't actually watch his stuff. I've seen clips and stuff of it, and, I get it. It's it's a character he's playing. He's got a friggin' wig, mullet, and glasses, and he wears a flak vest in his living room. So we get it. It's kind of funny. He had like 4 million followers, I think. And then out of nowhere on last Friday, June 26th, he's just gone off of Twitch. And it's been a full week now, and we still have no idea why he's gone. He when
you anger the online digital lynch mob,
well, that's the thing. There's no evidence that he even did that. He said, let's see, he still says the only tweet he's done since then, there was one from his wife early on that was like, thanks for all our followers, and your thoughts and getting us through this. And then he tweeted out one thing, and according to that, he still has no idea why he was banned. And I know the last few minutes of his last stream, apparently he got a message on his phone. It looked like it kind of upset him, and he was watching some Roblox videos, which, okay, I mean, kids love Roblox. And then he said some weird comments, and then he cut the stream out early, and that was the end of it. And he's not been really seen since. ESPN, which, by the way, why are we going to ESPN for reporting on this? But whatever.
That's what I asked daily. I didn't used to watch that many sports, and I really didn't watch ESPN, but suddenly ESPN is the voice of some kind of reason, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes... Well, he's not an esport. I mean, it makes sense. ESPN does run esports, but this is an esports thing, so I don't know why. But apparently, they sent their top-notch reporters on this, and they actually went and did a search because they know where they know where he lives, somewhere out in California. And there are no warrants, there's no arrest, there's no charges filed against Guy Beam, which is the Dr. Disrespect's actual real-world name. So they know everyone knows who he actually is.
No, his name is Herschel.
Is it Herschel?
It's Herschel.
Hey, it's like my grandpa. Nice.
Then why are all the articles calling him Guy Dr. Disrespect Beam?
That might be his middle name, because I saw his name, it was Herschel, and in quotations, Guy.
Okay. Well, maybe, it worked for the guy on The Walking Dead right up until, he had his head cut off.
Yeah, by the governor, no less.
Yeah, his last tweet was
spoiler
June 27th. So
yeah, and that was...
I don't know what's going on.
That was the last one. And there are, with what Yunfei had put on here, too, there's been a ton of, like a whole list of Twitch streamers that are being banned for sexual harassment charges, being on video or being caught saying some, pretty ugly things, and all sorts of just nasty stuff. But he's not one of them. So,
no, he wasn't on that list.
Yeah, he's not on that list. And he's, like I said, he's not a great guy. He did cheat on his wife, apparently 4 times over a course of about 2 years back in 2017. He got banned last year for filming in the men's room at a con, which while he didn't show anything, there were, people in there peeing.
I do remember that.
Right,
yeah,
and it is illegal to film in the state of California in a bathroom of any kind, even though most of what he filmed was just his head sticking up over a stall. Yeah, okay, I get that. But he came back. It was I think it was 3 weeks, maybe a month that he was gone, and then he was back, and I've not heard it, hide nor hair of him since, and then out of nowhere, boop, he's gone. Permanently banned. To the point where Twitch is even, for those that don't subscribe to Twitch, you can actually spend money and subscribe to channels and they get a portion of the funds and blah, blah, blah. But Twitch actually refunded everybody all the money that they had done for the next month.
Well, he angered somebody, bro, and somebody started crying, and then now he's gone. Surprise.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of conspiracy theories and a lot of theories, but they're pretty much all conspiracy theories. Because if the guy himself isn't coming out, and Twitch has basically done we thank you for your interest. Unfortunately, due to company policies, we are not allowed to comment on this, that, or the other thing. In regards to this, that, and the other thing, we appreciate your patience in these trying times, and he's still banned. Go
and remember, Wayland Yutani, building better worlds.
Right.
There is no Dr. Disrespect in Ba Sing Se.
Just gonna keep pounding that one out, aren't you?
I love it.
But so I because this guy does fascinate me, especially with what has happened to him last year with the banning and now this out of nowhere. I find him fascinating in the way of he's my version of the gaming Tiger King at this point. I mean, he's got the mullet, he's got the glasses, he's kind of way over the top. I don't think he's got a Carol Baskins-esque enemy that kills her husband. But he might. I don't know. I don't know the guy. But one of the theories, most of them are basically garbage. They seem like they come out from a lot of streamers that just don't like the guy because he's popular and he's got 4 million followers. So naturally, you have to hate him and hate everything about him because you're not him. And they do it out of jealousy. But there was one theory that came up that I saw, and I actually watched it. It came from someone in the know, I guess, but they had actually talked with lawyers and stuff like that to see. And they had said that Twitch, they actually had a contract with Dr. Disrespect to pay him $25 million to keep streaming on Twitch because they had this within the last year, they lost Ninja and Shroud for a combined total of $40 million to Mixer. And then, because keep in mind the timeline here, Mixer announces that it's going to be shuttering and closing its doors. This happened a good week or so, or at least several days before Disrespect suddenly disappears off the face of the earth.
I mean, if you anger the mob, they will try to destroy your life, right? I mean, that's kind of the going theme.
Well, it's not necessarily a mob in this case so much as... So Twitch was wanting to pay him $25 million not to leave to another company that now no longer exists or will shortly. So they find a way to fire him, basically, and now they don't have to pay out $25 million. It's a conspiracy theory, for sure. There's no
like
proof.
Some greedy money grubbers to me, bro.
And it's Amazon. So,
Amazon, I think they just print their own money. I mean, come on.
Yeah. If any company can, Jeff Bezos, I think he's made $25 million since, let's see, what time is it now? It's 4:37 now.
Since the show started?
I was actually going to say since 4:35. So about 2 minutes ago, he made $25 million. I forget how much money that guy literally makes, over $1 million a minute.
You can buy a few Whataburgers with that.
Do you want?
You're welcome. I'll be here all night.
For those that don't know, outside of the Midwest, Whataburger is a burger chain.
That is our in-house person right there.
Not to be confused with the Build-A-Burgers or the Build-A-Bears, which also run the country.
Build-A-Bear is actually open in the mall right now.
Is it really?
Yeah, we were there yesterday.
That's cool. I actually got a Build-A-Bear they had one online that was the Phoenix and Dark Phoenix, depending on which way you put the costume. So I have a Phoenix Build-A-Bear.
I'm going to need one with camo and an ammo belt. That sounds pretty cool to me.
That's really cool.
I think they actually have that.
Hey, I got to check that out.
Down in Texas. It's Texas exclusive. But no, so the theory is, that they found, I mean, I can't imagine how many, probably, I would almost say thousands of hours that guy's probably streamed. He said something dumb or stupid, or that can be taken out of context and would go against their terms of service. And then, boom, he's out. So they've got their way, and now they've saved $25 million. And as good as Twitch is doing, him disappearing, it's not really, I mean, it's not going to hurt them in the long run. Not really.
No.
So I don't know. It was an interesting theory. Could be complete bullshit. I'm not sure, but it makes a lot more sense than a lot of the other ones, given that has no allegations against him. He's not arrested. So far as we know, he's not done anything criminal, which is about what you have to do to get permanently banned off of Twitch. You've got to do almost a criminal act. I mean, they let people film them like the commercial. You can fill up a bathtub full of cereal and milk, bathe in it, and eat out of your own bathing bathtub cereal.
That's gross.
Or sell your bath water, like that one stupid chick that crosses her eyes and sticks her tongue out does.
Watch out for where those Fruit Loops are going. I don't know how Gormal got in here, but he got in here somehow.
Put him back.
Right.
Put him back. But yeah, so...
To be fair, she knows how to work it. She is
she's
rich
brilliant
because of that.
Oh yeah,
I was pretty enough to sell my bath water, and I could get $500 an ounce, dude.
It wasn't that much.
She gets all the props. I don't care how much.
To me. It was $30
if someone's dumb enough
cup,
to pay
I
for
think.
someone's bath water, fine.
Yeah. Oh no. Business wise, brilliant. Just saying, she's still on Twitch.
Yeah.
Right. So, and this guy was banned after his last stream had him watching Roblox videos. So.
Well, there's blatant animal abusers still on Twitch as well.
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, what's that now?
They don't do anything about it.
Animal abusers?
No. Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, okay, this I don't know. Like how?
Well, there's the chick who, I think she's mostly on YouTube, but she's a mukbanger, and she just straight up eats live animals on camera.
Okay, that's gross.
Grody.
And it's like, you know what? You do you, boo, but God.
Yeah.
Wait. What kind of live animals?
Octopus.
Octopus, yeah.
So arthropod, seafood that we're talking about?
Well, so she's part Klingon.
Technically.
Hey, man, all I'm going to say is you better eat the mind flayers where they get you, bro. I mean, you don't play with them in D&D.
There's the girl who spit vodka in her cat's mouth, and later on, she threw the cat over her chair.
Okay, I think I actually do remember that. Something about I remembered something about somebody that, like, I don't remember, they smacked their dog or something like that.
There's a lady that spit on her dog.
Yep, the lady that spit in her dog's face.
Okay.
Because
sadly, the lure of some kind of recognition and stardom over social media has driven people to do some crazy stuff, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is, because she uses that dog for views, and first of all, she's stupid. She shouldn't have a dog because he's a Roddy, right? He's a Roddy. And I don't know, if anyone else knows this.
Use animals like that in a stream. Hi, Cloud. How's it going, baby girl? Oh, yes, give me kisses. That's just despicable that anybody... I'm not going to spit in your mouth.
That's different, though.
Although she is licking mine, so you're going to go back down to the floor now. There you go, baby girl. No,
yeah,
her
Roddy is a puppy, and I'm sure you guys all know. Anyone that's had big dogs knows that there's a point when they're, 7, 8, 9 months old, where all of a sudden they're a full-grown dog, but mentally they're still a puppy. They don't know their own size. They bump into things. They,
Cloud,
what I mean? They knock you over.
Here. Yeah,
They basically hit the teenage years, the gangly teenage years.
Yeah, they do. And that's where her dog is right now. And so she gets him all riled up and, films him for views. And then when she's done with him, she just...
So she does what she does the Tiger King thing. Oh, they're adorable little kittens or little tiger cubs. And, now they're big. Put them out in the back with a shovel.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. And then she gets mad at the poor dog for being all riled up after... she got him all riled up.
Right, which, by the way, Cloud is over here with a baseball, or with a tennis ball wanting me to play, so that is my own fault. If you see me bounce out of the camera, I'm paying for the joke.
I gotta say, boss man, I like your Asian-like panels over there. It's pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah, that's so that I don't have to see Sib. Or that she doesn't have to see me. We're still...
Exactly.
It depends day to day. No, actually, honestly, most of that is because that helps keep her from echoing in my bike and me and hers. That's really the biggest point.
You should see him all the time. He's like, you got to watch this. Rips the curtain open. What are you doing over there? Rip.
And that goes back to the RPMMO radio days.
In other words, the Wall of Ashen, I see.
Yeah, the Great Wall of Ashen.
Only when he wants it there.
The beacons are lit. Rohan calls for aid. So, and then moving on from that. Oh, wait, no. So apparently, I can't read what Hellcat put.
Alinity. Yeah.
Sure, that's the one. That's the one that threw their cat.
Apparently. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say any names because,
screw that person. You're throwing your cat.
I can't afford to be,
trust me, if they get it here, I'll take whatever we get.
You'll take the infamy.
At least we'll get more listeners probably. I mean, people that don't like.
So does that mean I'm allowed to say bad things about Beyonce?
I mean, you do that at your own peril. Beyonce is a national treasure who has no talent.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my god.
Actually, I don't listen to her songs.
And suddenly the world is against us.
Not me. I like Beyonce.
Me too.
This is the second time he's tried to hijack our channel, bro. I'm just saying.
I tell you, I actually have no thought of her one way or the other, to be honest with you. I don't know that I could pick one of her songs out of a lineup, and that was if they actually had her name on all of the lineup. It's because I can't read. I don't know how to read. I just guess really well when I write stuff down.
I can't read, but that's because I'm blind.
Oh, sure. Throw out the blind card. Oh.
Well, I just got glasses and they don't do anything.
Did they really? I thought you had that eye surgery. Did that not end up helping?
A little bit.
A little bit. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Well, I mean, at least you can still see a big white blur instead of a big black blur.
There's something to see here. I grew up here,
Oh my god, did you hear the racism in that comment?
I did.
Wow. Yeah, I thought I was quoting Star Wars. Turns out.
Were you going to die here?
Yeah.
Convenient.
I was born here, you know.
Choose your hill to die on.
That's right. So the other thing that happened in the crazy world of streaming in the last 2 weeks, the ESO doxing, which for those of you that don't know what doxing means, it means doxing. You're welcome. So there's a thing called the ESO Stream Team, which is kind of like a dream team, but punny.
They're more punny than usual?
Yeah, okay. So basically it's people that stream like a butt ton of ESO, and they have a pretty good following. I think you have to have a minimum of like 1,000 followers, and they partner up with ZOS, and you kind of get exclusives. And actually, one of RPM Radio's former listeners, T the Khajiit, she's one of them. She's actually the reason I saw this was because I follow her on the Twitter. And we've known her for years. She's awesome. We love T. She's a great person. Still love going to her tea house every Sunday night. So, but she's on this, and it was through this that I saw that apparently somebody else on this stream team, not to I mean, I don't want to name names like Kyle Dempster, for example. Well, it's in the article I'm reading. So, but yeah, apparently he doxed several of the people. One of them, a streamer named Inklings, obviously. I don't think that's their legitimate legal name, but I don't know that for sure.
I have an inkling.
Unfortunately, because they're doxxed, I actually could find out, as well as their real name, their employers, their social media, their characters, more, and all their personal data that was sent in a Google Doc to all sorts of people and got out there in the ether of the internet.
Harass them mercilessly, is that the deal?
Yeah, and the developer did step in. They pulled it down from everywhere they could get their hands on it, which
but once
good for
it's out
ZOS.
there-
Right.
Yep.
You have to do some digging, but you could still find it, I'm sure. But so this article here, this is over at Massively Overpowered, who probably has the best article on this situation because it dealt with MMOs. They did a little digging, and they made it clear that the document was originally created and initially posted privately by streamer Kyle Dempster, who was also one of these Stream Team streamers. They reached out to ZeniMax and Bethesda. Took them a few hours, and the team tweeted they confirmed about the doxing attempt, as well as the news that had been removed as individual from they removed the individual from the ESO Stream Team for a serious violation of the game's code of context. So out of the conduct, it comes the context. The fun part of this is apparently this turd-whopper Dempster initially said on Twitter that he was resigning from the streaming group because ZeniMax was, quote, failing to take action against the people he says were harassing him. And then he made a second statement acknowledging that he did put the document together and that it was a compilation of information about the, quote, trolls he says were harassing him and sending him death threats. He claims he created the document to share with the studio and the police, but that he was asked to post it for the group, and then alleges that someone in the group, someone like a ZeniMax employee, then leaked that to the broader community. So, and then he released this big long thing that I'm not going to read about how Twitter, and it was somebody else's fault because he was being harassed, so he did this in order to help the police stop his harassers. Thankfully, though, ESPN-like journalism from the massively overpowered people, quote, a bit of sleuthing reveals that Dempster had been heavily criticized by members of the community for an alleged sexually inappropriate comment he made towards another player earlier this month. The list of personal information presumably belonged to those critics. In any case, it appears ZeniMax has weighed in and put an end to the scuffle, and cheers to ESO to the cheers of ESO players on Twitter. So, but the downside is Inkling information's out there now, and they've stepped down. They backed out of it. I actually checked earlier today when I was writing all this stuff up. Their Twitter account it's still active, but it is locked up tight. They do not allow anyone that's probably not already a friend to see anything that's on there. And I can't blame them. I mean, it would suck to have... I mean, we talk about it enough here, but I would be very fearful for anybody that put my information out there, because we live in Oklahoma, and we have a lot of weapons, and it would not go well for you. So it would be a really bad idea. Given... I wouldn't stand outside my home like those two weirdos that and pointing the gun at the protesters as they walked by. That was a little awkward. By the way, khakis is definitely the way to go when holding an AR-15.
He had a standard. It looked like the 1970s, like 80s look. I mean, it was horribly stock, and like, hey, I take this to range every other weekend, and I never pull it out. I face palmed. I was like, well, bro, you have a right to defend your property, but you look like a clown doing it.
No, and as bad as he looked, the way she was holding the pistol.
Oh, you mean his wife with no trigger discipline? Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah, and pointing it towards the crowd and having her arm cocked like this. Like, I don't know. So look for that to be a really... I actually see that being cringe, a huge Halloween costume this year for couples.
Oh, gosh.
But, yeah, it'd be scary. I mean, we have kids, and our son still lives here. We have our grandson over all the time. If stuff like that got out, where we work and all that, That's not cool. That turns your life upside down. It can
somebody thinks you're evil because the internet told them so. Suddenly your dog's poisoned. Just go from there.
Right.
It's not a bad deal. It's a bad deal all the way around.
I forget her name now. One of the characters in The Last of Us 2. Don't worry, I'm not spoiling anything. Abby, her voice actress.
This is sad.
It's super sad. She's the voice actress of Abby, which, by the way, Abby took 3 different people. There was the voice actress, there was the face, and then there was the body, because I don't know if you've seen Abby. She's got arms like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What a babe.
She is.
She's a beast.
What a babe.
I told Ashton, I was like, dude, is that what I look like? And he goes, no, baby. No. And I'm like, okay. I was like all panicked. Like, I don't want to look like that.
Because she's got muscle definition now that she works out. I had to point out her arms are actually a lot more like Ellie's, which are tone and fit and still muscular. Not like, I eat eggs out of the carton for breakfast.
She's got warrior arms, not super destroyer arms. There you go.
Abby is a super destroyer.
Oh yeah,
she's
a
badass.
She's definitely a battle tank.
Abby the barbarian. There you go.
But anyway, the voice actress that voiced this character voiced the character, didn't write the story, didn't do anything like that. All she did was go in there, get her paycheck, and say lines fantastically well. By the way, everything in that game is well voiced. She was getting death threats because of what happens in the game and that people didn't like her character.
When Ashton read this to me, I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
That's a big level of disconnect from reality. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. It was, let me see if I
Some of them were
vile. They're vile.
Insane.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
Let's see. Yeah, and by the way, it will still be a spoiler alert, but probably the one that's closest to my heart for how I felt about The Last of Us 2 was ironically girlfriend reviews. It still has spoilers in there, so if you've not seen it, Yunfei, looking at you.
Not.
Yeah.
I have not.
Yeah, you won't be able to watch their thing because there's no way to talk about that game. That's why I'm not really talking about it today, because I can't talk about it without spoiling it in a lot of ways. There's just no way to do that.
I would give it a little more time.
Yeah, I'm going to give it... I mean, I'll talk about it in the way that, I loved it. I understand why some people didn't love it. I can get that, but I was definitely not one of them because it pulled at my heartstrings in every way that it was supposed to, because I'm not a heartless, horrible person. I'm just a horrible person, not a heartless, horrible person. And yes, if it does sound like I'm distracting myself while talking, that's because I'm trying to find those quotes. I don't know I wonder.
This is called bonus content, ladies and gentlemen. When we fumble in the studio.
Yep. Oh, which, by the way, Strafe, did you see that Amazon Originals is going to make a Fallout TV show?
I did not. Now I'm curious.
Fallout is coming to television.
We just hope it's not going to be bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as they don't base it off of 76, am I right?
Yeah, 76 has gotten a little better, but that's a conversation for later.
There will be no backup actors.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I gotta have to Google it.
Well, while you're doing that,
go ahead.
We have some sad news, unfortunately, that's related to the streaming thing. Yunfei can tell you the details.
Actually, it's excuse me. It's related to streaming and getting shit on the internet.
Go for it.
Okay. I don't know if you guys are into the WoW or Hearthstone community at all.
No.
We do have one. I think. What is it? Ericus, our Canadian friend. He plays WoW. I don't know if he's into all that.
I think Jazz and I actually heard about this last night. Or someone was mentioning something about this,
Canadian Argonian.
Yeah. Well, he was a hugely popular WoW and Hearthstone streamer on Twitch.
Yeah.
His name was Byron Bernstein, a.k.a. Wreckful. July 2nd, unfortunately, he took his own life.
Yeah.
After a long struggle with mental health issues and online bullying. Yeah. And like I wrote in the notes here, he was only 31, by the way. But I wrote in the notes here that it's probably going to need like a whole episode dedicated to it. But I think that should open conversation again about mental health and mental health online.
Yeah, I think it segues good with this topic because, man, the internet in a lot of ways has done really good. Like, look at us. We're all friends and we live way far away from each other. On the flip side, you got this piling on, this anonymous, let's just tear somebody down to the point where they really do themselves in, and it's just horrible.
Yeah, well, actually, we did hear there was, I think it was Ericus, and I think actually Hellcat might have been the other one that mentioned in ESO last night about hundreds of people gathering across the different servers. I don't know where, but they were gathered somewhere for like a memorial for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the, okay, it's bittersweet because it's awful of what happened, but that's also one of the great things about the internet is when people can come together to show support for one another over something like that happening. You know what I mean? It sucks that that's the reason they're there, but the fact that they all put whatever differences they had aside. I know we did that in EverQuest 2. I forget who it was, and the person had their fans, and they had people that didn't care for them, but something I didn't know them that well.
Is it Gensla?
I think that might have been it. I think that was it. I think that was the person. And then everybody kind of came together and, did like an in-game memorial service for them.
Yeah.
And
the
that
guy
was cool.
I work with, he had a friend growing up with, and he played EverQuest 1 with him. This guy's a Marine. But his buddy was disabled like the Smiling Sorcerer, And he passed away, and he talked his mom into, hey, give me my buddy's account. Logged him in so they could all pay their respects. Because, man, it was... Internet's good in some ways, but it's just sad that these things happen.
Yeah, anonymity. Because, okay, here it is. Her name's Laura Bailey. She's the one that voiced Abby in The Last of Us. And her thing was, man, I try to only post positive stuff here, but sometimes this gets a little overwhelming. I blacked out some of the words because, spoilers. Side note, thank you all for the people sending me positive messages to help balance it out. It means more to me than I can say heart. And I actually, I responded to it too, just because I loved the character and at the same time as much as I hated the character. There's a lot of love-hate relationships in The Last of Us. Wow, you're a terrible person. God, you're a great character. Oh, it's so good. But some of the things that were being sent to her is, I'm going to kill you because you such and such in The Last of Us. I'm going to find where you live and slaughter you for what you did. Mark my something words. Mark my words. One of them is just simply, I will stab you. You just want to say you should die. You ruined it. I hope your parents die by a hard cancer. So,
wow.
I mean, when you are so disconnected that you're throwing some hate on a video game character, I mean, come on, man. There's something going on.
And when you find out what it's for, I mean, anything that happens in The Last of Us, which, by the way, I should point out, is pixel people. They don't actually exist. They're not real people. It's like when Snape kills Dumbledore. Nobody actually died. It's
really sad when it goes that far.
And I think that, like, I would say
they're out there, boys and girls.
Yeah, this is a mental health thing on the internet, basically. Anybody that gets that angry, especially at a voice actress that didn't write any of what she said, she
was paid to read something.
Any more than Troy Baker wrote anything said by Joel or anything Joel does. He just says the lines. He didn't have a lot of input on with the direction of the story. He's just the voice actor that plays Joel. It's just sad. It's horrifying, And the director, he came out and was like, "Dude, what the hell? If you want to send threats to people, send them to me. I'm the director. I'm the one that behind this. But don't do that." So
the same thing happened to the little boy that played Anakin.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
And he was awful. I mean, he
wasn't that great.
He was a terrible.
He didn't deserve that.
And
it was pretty awful, yeah. But I mean, he didn't deserve
Ahmed.
He was
Ahmed
how
Best.
old was he?
What's that?
How old
he was
was
9?
9?
10,
This 9-year-old, this 9 or 10-year-old is getting messages and stuff from people saying, kill yourself and stuff like that.
And given he wasn't a great actor, he shouldn't have been put in that part. There were far better kids. You know, and people on set called him Mannequin Skywalker because he was so wooden. But he was 9, you know, and now actually I've seen updates on him. His life is basically a giant shithole.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Well, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Yeah, and I'm sure being treated like shit his entire life from the age of 9 probably didn't have anything to do with it.
Well,
Ahmed Best, the guy that played Jar Jar Binks, he didn't have a great time. Although I will say I am kind of happy he is back as a Jedi now. They have that new Star Wars. It's like a Nickelodeon show. It's kind of like it's like a American Ninja Warrior, but with like Jedi and Star Wars influences, and he plays like the Jedi host that hosts these trials for these young Jedi. So I'm glad he's kind of come back around to it, because I know he voiced the first few episodes of Clone Wars before he's like, I can't do this anymore. And then they brought in James Lamar, I think, from Mad TV, who voiced Jar Jar from there on out. I do not know how I remember these kinds of things. It's just stupid.
Do not be ashamed about it.
I know. But, you know, in this article, too, actually, speaking of Star Wars, some were comparing what happened to Laura Bailey here to what happened to Kelly Marie Tran, who was Rose Tico in Star Wars. And I get it. That was a terrible movie, which brings us to another thing I'll bring up here in a second. But it's not her fault. Just, you know, Rose was a perfectly adequate character. It's not her fault. The actress's fault. The side story to the planet was complete bullshit and a waste of time. That's not her fault, and she did fine as
Orlando
Rose.
payoff. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes of just like, oh look, we're writing.
People look at them. They have everything. We should burn it down. It's like, get out of here. This is a wasted scene.
War profiteering is bad. Yeah. We know.
But she's an actress. She's getting paid to read a thing.
Right.
Not
Yeah. Blame anyone. Blame the writer.
Blame Rian Johnson. And by the way, I do.
I do too. He's a turd.
I know. And I like Knives Out. Knives Out was a perfectly fine, if somewhat predictable movie, and it was predictable. I figured it out partway through. It's like, oh yeah, so that's how that's gonna go. That's who did it. But the culture of people, you know, it's just awful.
It's brutal.
I don't get, like, I
have nothing better to do with their time.
Really?
And they want to make other people as miserable as they are. And it really does kind of boil down to that. And that's in games, it's in role play, it's in, you know, dealing with people who see a movie and get mad. You know, they don't contact the company that made the movie, they contact the actors. It's insane. But, and I will say this as a social worker, there is a lot of mental illness out there that goes undiagnosed, and I would say a large part of that is the inability to tell reality from fantasy.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen that before in EverQuest too.
Yeah, and we see a lot of that in RP, but a lot of people out there right now that you might think was delusional, you're probably not wrong.
Right, they're literally delusional.
There are a lot of people out there who are disconnected from reality, not because they want to be, but because of healthcare, meds, head injuries, frontal lobe damage. I mean, there's so many things that happen, especially to the poor.
Unrelated to Ben
nutrition when they're young.
Paste in kindergarten.
You know, getting backhanded by dad and he bounced off the fireplace, and now he has frontal lobe damage and kills small animals.
Or mom. We got violent moms too. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah,
but my point is that there's a lot of it out there, and I think that actors and politicians see that more now because it's all on the internet. It's a lot easier to access. Like, I have a client who literally all she ever does I don't have her anymore. All she would ever do is go and sit on the computer and look up the birthdays of stars. And she would do it.
Did she at least send them a present?
Hours. And then she would write them letters and was absolutely convinced that they were in love with her and
all right, and
they
that's
were going to come marry her.
It was really actually kind of sweet right up until the last part.
People are like, well, that's not bad, and I said, I'm not done yet.
Yeah, I was waiting
And
for
then
the
it takes
shoe
a
to
sharp
drop.
left turn, and you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And she would say, what's your birthday? We're not having that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, see, 31st of February, actually. There we go.
So I would just like to say in my defense that I didn't eat paste in kindergarten, but I am eating paste right now.
I mean, that's fair.
Thank you. Lovely.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
You're already blind. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I love you, bro. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Well, why don't we get Smiling Sorcerer on here? You can make fun of his cerebral palsy. Jeez.
I mean, I'm an equal opportunity troller. I'm
offender. Yeah. Which quick fun fact: Hellcat said that Laura Bailey that did the also voiced Jaina in World of Warcraft and Serana in Skyrim. So she gets around. I mean, wow, that sounded awful.
She was cool.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, voice actors.
Just keep going.
Yeah,
Don't get us sued yet.
It's like the guy that played Spike.
He's working hard on it.
Spike Siegel in Cowboy Bebop. If you play 14 minutes of Elder Scrolls, you'll hear that guy 15 different times. He is in every. Oh, he's fantastic too. He's great.
One of my favorite voice actors is Gideon Emery. He's in friggin' everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, the one that surprised me. Oh shoot, who did he voice now? He was one of the Power Rangers. I think it wasn't the Red Ranger. I forget which one of them it was. It was one of the originals. And I was at a con, and I was like, it was a Power Ranger. I mean, yeah, it's a popular show, and I'd expect him to have, you know, a decent line at a con for signatures. But his wrapped around the hall, like it. Let's see. Voice actor, but it was the longest line of, and I mean, we had some pretty big people there too. Is it this guy here? Dang it, I can't remember. But there's a few of them. But apparently he also voices like in anime and was one of the major. This is gonna drive me crazy now. Yeah, I think that was him. Johnny Young Bosch played a Green Ranger, but he voices. See, this is why you don't do stuff off the top of your head. Anyway, he voiced a major character in an anime. Oh, that's it. Duh. I can't believe I forgot that. He voices Vash the Stampede in Trigun. Yeah.
A lot of fans for that one.
So, and then he became one of the Power Rangers too. And I was like, why the fuck are people lined up for the friggin' green? Oh, that's Vash the Stampede? So anyway, I was in line for 2 hours.
Well done.
I wish, actually. The line was so freaking long, and I had I think that was back when I was doing the Jedi Academy for kids at the convention, and so I did not get his autograph. But the kids had fun, and I got to see Vash the Stampede from far away, so, you know.
I've seen pictures of your Jedi training days. They're pretty epic.
That was a lot of fun. I actually got to see... I literally bumped into Jonathan Frakes because of that, because we were doing that with about a dozen kids in a back room at the convention hall. And he'd snuck away to take a phone call, and, you know, we heard someone talking, so we popped our head out there, and we were like, we just pointed with our mouths open, and he just looked over at us, winked, and went back to his phone call, and we ducked in, and we were like, that was Jonathan Frakes.
I say, good man, was that William T. Riker?
William Riker winked at us.
Yunfei got a hug from one of the guys on Voyager.
Nice. Which one was it? The guy that
Tom
played
Paris.
Tom Paris. Well, all right.
He's not. He was the nicest dude I have ever met.
You know, the guy that played Kim was Butch. By the way,
Mr.
does
Kim?
not look like he did in Voyager. Apparently, to the ladies, he is quite the looker now. He's got that long.
Oh, I gotta look this up.
Long dark, you know, black hair, and he's not a bad looking fella. I gotta say.
That's warrior hair, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But he does not look like the nerdy little I'm in Starfleet kind of thing that he was back then at the last con I saw him at. It was like, damn.
You know, man, it was all about
Him
Balana
grew
back
up.
in the day for me. I mean, 7-9 was cool, but Balana, man, he'd punch you in the face. It's like, look at this chick.
Whoa.
Told
He's
you.
51?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that man that I'm looking at right now is 51.
Told you.
What are these people eating?
Well, I mean, if you
Kale.
want to be, he's Asian, so if you want to be racist about it, sushi.
You
All
know
right,
that
so thanks
not
for coming
all
to
Asian people eat sushi.
Wait, what? No, that can't be true. I Googled it over at allasianpeopleeatsushi.com, and that's what they said, is that all Asian people eat sushi.com.
As an ancient Asian, I take offense.
Just remember, everyone,
How
these
ancient.
quotes brought to you by twitch.tv/crashballloading.
That's right. Your wife's people, bro.
Yes. How far back does that heritage go, Straffe? Because I'm just saying, I'm guessing 1,000 years.
Hey, man. Offense knows no age.
You're it's like the people here in Oklahoma. I'm 1/5030 seconds Cherokee, so you're white. No, I'm 1/5. You realize you don't even get a card for that, right?
Okay,
No.
so my grandma, my great grandma's half, so there it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you at least. Yeah, actually, yeah, I know. I'm aware of that saga. Which
I know.
We sent your papers in, by the way.
Hey, y'all are the best.
We handed them off. And to anybody listening to us, you have absolutely no idea what we're talking about. And
Hey,
we're
man,
going to keep it that
I'm
way.
gonna be a paper troll. I'm so excited. Official Gormal coming.
Actually, that would be. I really hope that does turn out for you, because that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if not, although, am I allowed to say what you're trying to prove, Straffe? I mean, it's not really
I don't care.
a secret. He's trying to prove his ancestry of. Was it Cherokee?
It's Cherokee, yes.
Of Cherokee ancestry, which I would like to point out that he has to, in order to prove his Cherokee ancestry, he has to send papers to the white man.
I do.
Just pointing that little irony out there.
Happy Independence Day, everyone.
Happy
America!
Independence Day. America.
America.
Funny
But
story.
anyway.
In grad school, we're all working on our master's thesis, and I'm in a workroom with my buddies, and they're all Asian except for me, and I'm sitting in there. And Lincoln Lee, he immigrated from China, mainland, and Henry is from Taiwan, and my buddy Mike was half Taiwanese. We're all in there working and chatting, and then it came up that, hey, everybody's Asian here except Anthony. He's like, Anthony, you don't belong. This is the Asian club. I said, whoa, bro. I got Cherokee in my family. He's like, oh, you're ancient Asian. Okay, you're loud.
You're ancient Asian.
Ancient Asian. It cracked me up to no end.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
Ancient Asian. You know, back in my day, we had to cross a land bridge to get here. Oh, well. I don't think there's anything else we could say that would probably be more offensive in one way or another to somebody that we haven't already said.
It's technically, Asian folks telling that to me, so I didn't take offense.
No. Well, I mean, if you find somebody that likes to tell those kinds of jokes, I remember, it's probably not a really good thing to admit, but I'm going to anyway. I worked with a guy named Remy Brown, who was, I don't know if you're aware of this, he was not the same color as me. He was a black guy. And we were both stuck back in doing quality assurance at a company that doesn't exist anymore. And he was like, you know any black people jokes? I was like, I don't know. Do you know any white people jokes? And so we spent the next half an hour looking up black and white people jokes. And when we would find one on the internet, we would tell the other person what joke we just found for like a solid half hour. I got to tell you, there are some pretty funny white people jokes out there. The black ones were a little dark. They were a little dark, little on the. No pun intended. No actual pun intended.
I thought he was being
really
punny
dark.
too.
I thought he did too, man. I thought we were.
I realized it after I said it.
Are we gonna be? Is this a pun?
This is the last straw, right?
Right. No, I mean the white guy ones. I don't know. I can appreciate a good white guy joke. Sadly, because a lot of them. True. I do love tube tops
and cheese.
Oh my god.
There's
so
a fantastic thread out there. It's a Reddit thread. I'd have to do some digging to find it again, but it was it was a white person posted, "Black people, I'm white, ask me anything."
Oh yeah,
and
I think I've
some of the
heard
question,
of that.
and it was all very, very tasteful. Like nobody broke into.
Right, they actually weren't being mean. They were being like,
yeah, it was like, why do white ladies like yogurt so much?
that is a question as old as time. Why do white ladies like yogurt so much?
Oh, no.
And one of them was what is our fascination with cheese?
Yeah, and like it was funny. There's a lot of humor.
Right.
It was what I liked about it was you're learning because I mean
not everybody grows up in the same.
Ben, I got
same
one
thing.
quote from the '90s. Behold the power of cheese. Enough said.
Mm-hmm.
That's how big cheese gets you. Also,
yeah.
run by the white man.
Big cheese. Oh, well,
I assume. I mean,
I can forgive it for the sharp cheddar.
They're probably French, but well, I think that's about all. Anybody have anything else before we close this down real quick?
Just stay safe out there.
If
it's your Independence Day, if it's not your Independence Day, happy 4th of July. This a random day in the middle of July.
And if you're Canadian, happy Canadian Day a couple days ago.
Yeah, I thought it was like tomorrow.
No.
Okay.
Thanks for being our fancy hat, Canada.
According to Ericus, who is our resident Canadian expert, it was on the 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, happy belated Canada Day.
Yeah.
Canada!
For everybody else,
happy
whatever.
Happy 4th of
Happy July.
Which, by the way, probably won't be. I don't know what ungodly horror is going to be unleashed upon man this year or this month, but look forward to it soon.
We're surrounded by a bunch of good old boys over here, so we're staying in the apartment.
Yeah, it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
So, I got some groceries delivered from Walmart, and the guy gave us a little bag that has this American flag, like, pinwheel thing, and some sparklers.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice of him.
And being from Maine, I'm looking in the bag, like, is this legal?
In Tulsa, you're not allowed to set off, like, the big boomers, like the mortar shells.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Which is funny because you're allowed to sell them in giant stands every 15 feet.
Yes.
This
you
time
don't say nothing.
Wow.
That's the code.
This time of year, we actually have more fireworks stands than churches in Oklahoma, which doesn't happen.
We got the same thing in Texas, bro.
Doesn't happen often that there's anything more than churches in Oklahoma.
There's a lot of churches. Oh,
from June 15th to July 5th, fireworks stands out. Does it?
Speaking of churches. We were on the way for Ben's appointment at OSU, and so we're riding the highway, and I see a Hustler Hollywood, which if anybody doesn't know, it's an adult shop, and right across from it is a church, and I had to laugh because when we were in Ohio, it was the same setup. There was a Hustler Hollywood right across the street from a church.
Oh, it almost didn't make it there because.
On the other side,
Bishop Kelly across the highway from there is the church and they fought it tooth and nail. They did not want it to go in there.
And Bishop Kelly also a school.
Yes.
Oh my!
Yeah,
not just a church. It's a church and a school.
You guys saw. But yeah, it is a school.
They were not.
Yeah, they fought it.
Oddly
with
enough,
everything they had, and still it managed to go in.
Yeah,
hilarious.
And I still don't know how it's open. Have they never heard of the internet?
It's funny because the one in Ohio, it was across the street from a very famous church.
Yeah, the Big Butter.
Really?
Yep, Big Butter Jesus. It's basically, there was a statue made out of resin that they called Big Butter Jesus, and it was super famous. And the funny part was when I came down to be with Mel,
it really does
it actually burned. It burned down the day that I did it.
Yeah, that thing has been struck by lightning like 3 times.
Wow.
Building it, and it's like, guys, maybe God's trying to tell you something.
Yeah, don't make Jesus out of delicious butter. And I googled a search, did a Google search for it. When
there's a song.
When we did, we were part of the Tulsa State Fair when Star Wars was their theme, and they actually had someone come in and make a Darth Vader butter sculpture. This looks like exactly that, only 3 stories tall as in Jesus instead of Darth Vader. I also like the Photoshop of what looks like him catching a football.
Yes. Yep. It was also known as football Jesus.
Yep. Which down here in Oklahoma in Tulsa, we have what's the place with the giant praying hands, sweetie?
ORU.
ORU has
Oral Roberts University
has a three-story hands that look like they're made of bronze, and they used to be in front of a 20-story building. And of course, my dad, being who my dad was, he said, when they built those, they actually had them laying flat and open, and they were like, "Well, how do we get those hands to pray?" And so the pastor went to the top of the building and dropped a $1 bill, and as it went between the hands, it closed into a praying position. Take that for what you will. But it actually does funny. Yeah, it's my dad's joke. It's a dad joke. Get off my back. He's
well, you
dead.
You're allowed.
You're going to make fun of my dead dad now, huh? You monster.
Yes.
I mean, he'd probably laugh at it, so go for it.
It's from the Solid Rock Church, also called the Touchdown Jesus. But there's it
really does
images. There are so many memes of it that it's just...
Oh, yeah. I like the one of him tossing a pizza.
Yeah. I saw that one.
So, that's good stuff.
The one where they're building it, and it's just like the skeleton underneath, and it's Terminator Jesus.
Oh, so funny story about that one is that I used to drive by there every day when I go to work when I was in Ohio, and after it burned down, it was literally just a metal sculpture of skeleton. Scared the ever believe in Jesus out of me. I was like, "What is that?" Because it seriously just looks like a Terminator.
Dun 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 dun. They just have that on the speakers outside. Dun 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 dun.
Something tells me they don't really have a sense of humor there.
No,
I mean, they built a 3-story tall pizza throwing Jesus. I think they'd have some sort of a sense of humor.
I love the pizza throwing Jesus.
All right, before we just keep offending more and more people.
Yeah.
Which, if any of this has offended you, get over it.
Twitch.tv/crash while loading.
That's right. Thank you. Finally, I'm not the only one trying to get us out there. Man. All right, I'm starting the music.
Please feel free to go to our Discord and tell us how much you hate us.
Especially if you don't like Ben. Please, by all means, we'll read your comments on the show. Actually, quick note, speaking of, just because it helps get us out there, and it only works on iTunes because that's where everything comes through. If you do listen to us and you enjoy the podcast or you enjoy the show live, look us up on iTunes. Give us a quick review. 5 stars are preferable, but I will take 5 stars. Write us a note. Tell us what you think. We'll probably read it on the show when I eventually remember to look and see if anyone actually did it. So far, my mom thinks this show is pretty... She's not listened to a single word of it. She never will, so...
I'll take 3 stars and a sandwich.
Ooh. Make me a sandwich, woman!
Go make your own.
Okay. All right. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Twitch.tv/Crash While Loading, as Ben has said multiple times, and I thank him for it. I'd like to
You still don't pay me.
I pay you in joy.
We need to rediscuss my contract.
You want to go get that talk about bringing your box in? You risk that, Ben. I ain't doing it. I already been there 3 times.
Yeah, I'm going to have you come down to the office, but I'm going to need you to take the stairs on account of the elevator's not working.
Oh, you asshole. Mel was starting to push me on the escalator at the mall the other day.
Ooh, brave woman.
She's like, we can't find the elevator. You just go on the escalator.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Ow! So, all right. Well, anyway, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thank you to the crew. Jazz, Sib, Strafei, Ben, Yunfei. You guys are awesome. I'm glad you came. I'm, of course, Ashton Phoenix, and that's pretty much it. You guys have a great time. Have a happy, safe 4th of July. If you don't celebrate the 4th of July, you're a communist and nobody likes you. Night, everybody. Music, as always, is provided by Husky by the Geek. Visit him at youtube.com/HuskyByTheGeek to hear all his latest video game covers and original music.
The end.
Yeah.